Have you ever been at a total crossroads, just wishing you had some kind of map for one of life's big decisions? Well, today we're going to dig into a specific framework for doing just that, using ancient scripture as a practical guide. We're going to explore how a text that's centuries old is seen as a light for the path, even here in a 21st century.
We've all been there, right? You know that feeling you're just lost in a fog and you have absolutely no idea which way to turn. It's in those moments, those times of real uncertainty, that we start looking for a light, any light, to show us the way.
And look, this isn't just a spiritual question. It's a totally human one. Every single one of us faces these moments where the map just runs out, and we're left to figure out the path forward on our own.
And that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today. This core idea that a text can be a light in the darkness. And I love this metaphor. It's not a giant floodlight showing you the entire journey from start to finish. No, it's a lamp for your feet. It just illuminates enough for that very next step. It's such a powerful way to think about finding your way, just one step at a time. Okay, so how does this actually work? How does an ancient text become a practical guide for today? Well, the very first way is through what you could call direct instruction. Think of it like the rules of the road for life. So the source material sees this text as a kind of multi-tool for life. It's not just a book of rules, it's about growth. Doctrine is for teaching you what's true. Reproof helps you see where you might have gone off track. Correction shows you how to get back on the path. And instruction is all about training you to stay on it. It's seen as a complete system for personal development. So for a lot of life's really big questions, family, relationships, finances, the idea is that the answers are already there, written down. This becomes the foundation, the starting point for making decisions in these really complex parts of life. But what about all those moments that aren't spelled out in the rulebook? Well, that's where a much more personal and some might even say mystical form of guidance comes into play. It's this concept of the quickened word. You know that aha moment? It's when a passage you might have read a dozen times suddenly lights up with a new, deeply personal meaning for your specific situation. It's like a message in a bottle that just happens to wash up on the shore of your life at the exact right moment. So to really get a feel for this, let's look at a story from the source material. Picture this. It's 1990. A student leader is presented with this incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The only catch? The timing is absolutely terrible. I mean, you can see the conflict here, right? Host this big event and risk his grades and a bunch of money he doesn't have, or just play it safe and miss out on something huge. Logic is screaming, decline, decline. But what does faith say? And then it happened. He had his quickened word moment. A verse from Proverbs just cut through all the noise and all his doubts. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. For him, it was a crystal clear sign. You've got to move forward on this. And the result? Well, that one decision, which came from this single quickened word, ended up kicking off something truly monumental for that whole student group, with an impact that lasted for years and years. It's a pretty powerful example. And this wasn't just a one-off thing. Let's fast forward to 2013. He's facing another one of these impossible decisions. He's got a struggling church, the numbers are dwindling, and honestly, the most logical choice is to just shut its doors for good. He was ready to give up. He was about to pull the plug. But then another quickened word, this time from the book of Isaiah, felt like a direct call to just persevere, to hang on. And today, the source tells us that very same church is absolutely thriving. Okay, so we've got the rule book, and we've got these incredible aha moments. But the source material also talks about two other ways this guidance comes through, from the world around us and, well, from that voice inside. Think of these two channels working together, almost like a stereo system for the soul. You've got the external voice, maybe a sermon that feels like it was written just for you, and then you've got the internal voice, your conscience, guiding you from within. Have you ever been listening to a talk or a sermon and you just get this feeling, this was meant for me to hear today? That's that external guide at work. And that little voice inside, your conscience, well, in this framework, it's not just a random gut feeling. It's seen as a finely tuned compass, one that gets calibrated and aligned by scripture over time. But here's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What's to stop someone from just twisting all of this to fit what they already want? The source material is actually very aware of this danger, and it issues a really strong warning. It all comes down to this idea of rightly dividing the word of truth. What does that mean? It means being a careful, thoughtful student of the text, not just cherry-picking verses that back up what you want to hear. It's about genuinely seeking truth, not just looking for confirmation bias.
And the difference is night and day. Proper use is all about studying, meditating, and really understanding the whole context. Misuse? Well, that's like playing Bible roulette, just flipping it open and pointing. Or worse, twisting the text to justify a selfish agenda.
And the source gives this really chilling example of misuse. A young man who uses scripture to pressure a woman into a relationship with him. He's seeing confirmations everywhere he looks. But from her perspective, it's just manipulation. It's a very stark reminder of the responsibility that comes with this kind of guidance system. And so, that leaves us with a much bigger question to think about. We've just explored how one particular faith tradition finds its light for the path. But what about other traditions, other cultures, both ancient and modern? What are the foundational texts, the big ideas, the quickened words that guide the rest of humanity's journey through the dark? Now that's a question worth pondering.